If you like the look of hand stitching but don't want to do it at all, the Pfaff Creative Icon has a built-in stitch, and not just one stitch. There's actually quite a few stitches that will work this same similar way. The Hand Look Quilt Stitches are in the Quilt menu 2.1, and as you find with stitch number 2, you'll notice that there are a few things that you need. Go ahead and put your 0A foot on. I did mine through batting, but you don't have to. It is something that when you put the IDT engaged, which is recommended, that it will pull through layers such as multiple layers with batting in between. But you also have stitches that can be done with other outcomes. So just take a look, but here's what makes it work. Number one, there is clear thread in my needle. You'll see that right up there. I've got clear thread. Good quality clear thread will make a difference too. So if you have some that's a little rough or older, you might treat yourself to a newer spool. Next, open up the Stitch Edit menu and notice that the stitch tension is actually much higher than normal. And I had actually, for the thread that is in my bobbin, which by the way is pink, that's actually being pulled up to the top, I did increase that to like about 7.0 for it to pull up. And so that is the thing, is this is a manipulated stitch. Variables such as fabric, clear thread, bobbin thread can all make a difference of whether you are successful with this stitch or not. Now, I do know that when people sometimes stitch these out in their stitch book, they get to these stitches and the tension is, they always say, oh my gosh, the tension's way off. And that's because they're usually using regular thread in their needle and their bobbin, and it's pulling their bobbin thread up. Well, the reason is that if you touch the question mark and then touch the stitch, it will guide you to why the stitch is made the way it is and how to set it up. So just a little reminder that when you get to this menu, it will do different things. So how does this actually work? Well, it's magic. Just go with that. But one thing I will advise you on is that usually the first stitch is not a full stitch. It is something that will get started, and as long as you kind of plan for that, maybe start a little bit sooner or a little bit further up in your stitching area, or if you're going around that you come back and cover that up, that usually your first stitch does not fully pull the bobbin thread up. So let's take a look at how this actually stitches. So there's not really a trick to it other than just threading the machine with the clear thread, putting your thread that you want to show in your bobbin, and stitching. Now, as you might come to a place where you might turn a corner, you might find that you finish a stitch, stop with your needle down, and then turn a corner. So there is a place that would be better to turn than not. So kind of practice a few times before you actually start working around something that needs accurate finishing and starting points here. Remember where I said it doesn't start all the way? It just takes a little bit to start pulling that bobbin thread up. It is a manipulated stitch, so that's just kind of par for the course. But if we were coming all the way around, I think you can see where we could easily correct it and make it turn out just right. But if you are going to peek at the back side, you will find that there is a solid line of stitching back there, and it will totally give away that you did not do the project by hand. But you'll have done it in a 20th of the time it would have taken if you had done it by needle and thread.